Somebody apologized for saying I apologize for every bad thing you've ever said about America. Uh, that may be too extreme. I was talking about people who come over here and say complain about the tax situation. You know, like I'm sure that the Europeans, the people of different European countries, just love it when people from the United States go over there and complain about their culture and get disgusted about it. Or Australia. A lot of these videos are from Australia, New Zealand, England, Scotland, the Anglophone countries. Some are even Canadian. And it's particularly frustrating. You know, the gun laws, things like that. People, when America was aiding the butcher of people in El Salvador in the '80s, totally right for people to speak out against that. I would expect uh, not only but especially the Christian population, especially the Orthodox, especially the Shia, and anybody with the mind to speak out against the United States getting involved in Syria, because this could lead to a conflict with Russia. Also, we're backing the correct ones, the Peshmerga, but we're also backing the Al Qaeda branches too, which are slaughtering the as well. I mean, just like ISIS, they're slaughtering the Yazidis and the Christians and the Shia. So it's nuts. And sometimes they fight with ISIS. They fight on the side of ISIS, or they fight. You know, it's just screwy. You know, Islamic Front, Al Nusra. Just name whatever horrible group that beheads people, and the U.S. is now supporting them because ISIS and for some odd reason Assad. You know, I thought we were done fighting the Baathists, but whatever. But yeah, people say, you know, oh, you know, the Second Amendment and this and that, the right to bear arms. It's not just an immutable thing. Well, first of all, yeah, it's part of the amendments, so yeah, we know. And trying to say, oh, it's just because you say, well, it's in the Constitution, that's not a good enough argument. Yeah, it is for free speech, for the First Amendment, that the government shall not make a law infringing on a speech, religion, establishment of, or negation of. Yeah, it's right there. You don't need. There's no. Somebody doesn't need to explain a great argument. They just need to say right there. See? Government's not allowed to do that. Number two, government's not allowed to take my weapons. To change those, we have it in the 10 Amendments that, well, there's more amendments now, but 10 Amendments, Bill of Rights. To change that, all we need to do is get the vast majority of people to vote against that and change the Constitution. The change to the Constitution has been performed illegally in the past. You could say the income tax thing was not kosher, but whatever. That Clinton did. But yeah, and what's especially frustrating is talking about free countries. Oh, you mean doesn't Europe and didn't Canada, and actually this happened in Australia where the Queen just said no, you know, England said that we don't like that democratic process, we're going to annul it. I think that happened in the 70s. And it wasn't until 1985 that, or 1982, that the Canadians could ask, or maybe it was 96, Canadians that could even ask for a law or something like that. That, I mean, you still have the Queen on the money. Oh, America's so religious. Well, why do you have this? Why do you have somebody who you claim is given their position by the divine mandate of God and also the head of the Church of England as well as the armed forces on every single piece of your money, or most of the money, and that they have more of a say in your government than you do? Kind of wacky. And I know how much the Canadians love the Queen. I've never heard one of them. I've always said, well, what's up with the Queen? And they get they love the Queen. I figured they would have hated her. But I don't know if the Australians really love the idea of having a queen and not being under a republic. I mean, maybe Canada can't take care of itself, but it seems like, hell, it seems like Australia's doing shitload better than England. But yeah, as for, policies that reach out and, are destructive and stuff like that, but for internal cultures and our own rights and what we choose to have, you guys pray too much. What? You mean, so the fact that, we don't have some, which is not a secular thing, some horrid atheistic regime like they've had in, Central and Eastern Europe for the majority of the last century, slaughtering people in the streets, or we actually don't have an official church connected to our state like all of Scandinavia and England, that's because freedom from an official church has actually caused people to go, oh yeah, hey, I can worship how I want, so I'm going to, if I want to, because that's, you don't like that outcome has actually caused people to not reject God and religion. It seems bitchy. Same thing about the taxes and gun control. Come over here and, while visiting here or, working here, you wanted to come here, obviously. This is not like the Irish potato blight or, Italy in 1910. These people had to take an airplane over here. They want to be here, and they're going to bitch, piss, and moan. But if I were to do that, I heard an Australian saying, I hate Americans. I don't hate Europeans. I made a whole video about how he hates Americans because we say a dingo ate your baby. I've never heard that before. Or put another shrimp on the Barbie. I've never heard that one before. So I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. And yeah, I do realize that because this is the case for the Americans, it's usually the rich, whiny ones and not like the working class and stuff like that do get to go abroad. The hipster, pretentious people. And the, and this thing with with old retired people. I don't know how Europeans are and foreigners are. Well, I know how Latin America is. Your elders who've worked, who've probably fought in wars, who've shut your damn mouth. Let them be. They're in the twilight years of their life, 50, 60, 70, they're on honeymoon. Just because they're bumbling around your culture, we don't give people shit for that. Don't give them shit. They're older than you. They're your elders. They're not trying to be rude or mean. But when people come over here and start really talking, in your face about specific politics and this and that, about stuff that only concerns the United States, and people talk about guns going over the border, yeah, Obama did that. He sent the guns into Mexico. So, yeah, talk about him, not the Second Amendment, because the Second Amendment didn't do that. That's all I'm talking about. Peace to you.